This video log is going to be on music and the power of music in your life, as well as music for a patient who's recovering from any kind of procedure. So this has dual purposes. I'll give you a little context besides the fact that I've always loved music. Is last year I ran the American Academy for Facial Plastic Surgery annual meeting in Nashville, and I was in charge of finding the keynote speakers. One keynote speaker I asked to come and speak from Nashville, a local gentleman, a journalist who loves music, was Craig Havighurst, Havighurst. And after watching his TED Talk, which I encourage you to do, it really encouraged me to incorporate music into my life on a daily basis. And in a moment, I'll talk to you about the relevance for it in terms of plastic surgery or just surgery in general. So what he talked about was getting what's called a digital to analog converter, which is attached to the back of my phone here, a tiny one. This is a KLAR, K-L-A-R, and attaches through this lightning cable. And that is taking an iPhone 7 and not worrying to have it wireless. In fact, you can have wireless. And then it comes out the backside, and I've got these premium headphones that are awesome. This is about $300, about $500. Now, you can obviously get less expensive ones. I think one is called, pardon my French here, Moda. I think it's S-C-H-I-T, Moda. I think it's about $100 some. So they're less expensive options. But getting a digital analog converter is so important. He encouraged that during his talk. The reason is the sound fidelity is incredible. At one point I was using Tidal Music Service, which gave me lossless, or FLAC, high quality music fidelity. But I did this blind test. I could not hear the difference between 1.4 megabytes versus 320 kilobytes per second. So Apple Music streaming service, really for my ears, and even with good sound equipment, is good enough to hear things. So every day when I go home, I sit on my massage chair, I listen with these headphones for 30 minutes to an hour before I go to sleep, and it's just an amazing experience that transports you, releases your stress, gives you this mental stimulation and emotional stimulation that's amazing. The music that I really listen to now, that I wasn't as passionate about in the past, but now it's become something that I have to listen to almost every night if possible, is classical music. I'm not trying to be a snob. I'm not saying this is better than any other type of music, but for me in the last few months it's become something that I can't live without, and it's really changed the way I see life. It gives me more peace, gives me more joy, gives me more relaxation. And listening to some things like Joshua Bell's Bach violin concertos that he does. He's a director of the Academy of St. Martin the Fields in London. Amazing piece. Listening to some cello pieces from Bach, Haydn, Mozart. Just really amazing pieces. And again, it just gives you this sense of calm and peace. How does this relate to plastic surgery or to surgery? I was looking online and looking at the benefits of music for people that are recovering from a procedure. They did blinded analysis in patients that had intraoperative music versus postoperative music versus both, and versus none. And they found that any kind of music, whether it's just intraoperative, and I always listen to good music, Darla's filming this with me, we always listen to very pleasant, beautiful music, and postoperative music, either one or both can help a patient reduce their opioid or need for types of narcotic usage. It makes them more calm in life and very, very more at peace. Now, what's an interesting study they also found was that metalheads and classical music fans are actually very similar in their desire for music. I don't like heavy metal, so, but whatever, it just was an interesting study I was looking at. But the bottom line with this is, especially for if this doesn't resonate with you on a daily basis, to listen to music and incorporate that as a daily activity. And I don't mean listen to music while just something is playing in the background, but dedicating it, and maybe the lights are off in a quiet room. We're spending 20 to 30 minutes, maybe an hour, listening to dedicated music. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about listening to music. Not, hey, I listen to music every day on the way to work. That's good. Music is so important. There's a movie, I can't call the title, that looked at patients that had an Alzheimer's, serious dementia. They can't even talk, and they play this music from when they were young, like in the 50s and 60s. All of a sudden they awaken, they can talk. It connects with a primordial portion of our brain that's very, very powerful. So I encourage you, when you listen to music, Try to get a digital analog converter for your phone. You don't have to spend $300, but there's, as I said, some less expensive versions. Very, very important. Get a good quality headphones between $100 to $300. These are more expensive at $500 because I like design. These are really super cool, made in Italy. Beyonce wore them in a video, hence I'm wearing them because I want to be cool too. But it just listen to music in a very dedicated fashion. And you'll start to have this new life that's there. And especially if you're recovering from, let's say, a facelift, a hair transplant from me, a rhinoplasty. Otoplasties, I probably don't want you to have the headphones on. You can probably just listen to it without the headphones. But some other technique, some other procedure where you may have some slight aggravation, discomfort, maybe you're slightly depressed that you had it done, you don't recognize yourself for a few days, I really encourage you to incorporate music on that basis of the postoperative setting, but maybe on a larger scale, to think about incorporating music into your life on a daily basis.